All right, what if I told you we could build a massive, durable aircraft hangar not with steel and concrete, but with air? It sounds like science fiction, right? But it's a very real technology that's completely changing how we think about large-scale structures. So let's dive in and see how you can literally build a massive shelter from, well, thin air. So let's think about the problem we're trying to solve here. Traditional construction, it's slow, it's incredibly expensive, and it is permanent. You pour the concrete, you put up the steel beams, and boom, that building is there for good. But what happens when you need a hangar on a remote airfield, or a huge workshop for a temporary project, or an emergency shelter like yesterday? The old way just can't keep up. And that's where this brilliantly simple, yet super high-tech solution comes into play, the inflatable hangar. It's all about speed, portability, and cost-effectiveness in a way that traditional buildings just can't match. Now, I know what you're thinking. When you hear inflatable, your mind probably jumps straight to a bouncy castle, right? But we need to get that image out of our heads. This is something else entirely. We're talking about seriously engineered structures designed to have all the strength of a permanent building, but with the amazing flexibility and portability of a tent. Okay, so the big question is, how does this actually work? How can a bag of air possibly stand up to the elements and protect millions of dollars of equipment inside? Well, the secret isn't really in the air itself. It's in what's holding the air. It all kicks off with the material. And look, this isn't some simple vinyl you'd find at a hardware store. We're talking about a high-strength PVC-coated fabric. The main frame is made of these big, inflatable air columns, and they often have multiple layers. That's actually the key to their stability and their safety. And this fabric, it isn't just strong, it's incredibly tough. It's engineered to be totally waterproof, it's fire-resistant, it's UV-resistant so the sun won't break it down, and it can handle a lot of wear and tear. This is industrial-grade stuff, built to last in some really harsh environments. The setup process is another total game-changer. Instead of months and months of construction, you're looking at a pretty simple three-step process. First, you inflate the air column framework. Then you attach the outer fabric cover, and finally, you secure the whole thing with ground anchors. For a medium-sized hangar, a skilled team can have it up and ready in just a couple of days. That's just wild. Okay, but here's the question I'm sure is on everyone's mind. It's a building made of air, right? So can it really handle harsh weather? What happens when the wind really starts to howl or when the snow starts piling up? The answer is all in the anchoring. These things are seriously engineered for stability. They get secured with these heavy-duty ground anchors, and you can add even more weight with sandbags or giant water bags. A really well-made structure is designed to handle some pretty strong winds and even a moderate amount of snow, keeping everything inside perfectly safe. All right, another really practical question. If it's full of air, do you have to have a pump running 24/7 just to keep it from going flat? Because that would be noisy, super inefficient, and honestly a huge risk if it failed. And that's where the smart tech comes in. They're actually equipped with an intelligent air pressure control system. It's this little brain that's constantly monitoring the pressure inside those structural columns. If it detects a drop, it automatically tops up the air, but only when it's needed. So it's basically a set-it-and-forget-it system that makes sure the hangar stays rigid without anyone having to babysit it. Now, because this tech is so darn flexible, its use goes way, way beyond just parking airplanes. Let's take a look at the huge range of fields where these structures are popping up. The versatility here is just incredible. So yeah, aviation is a big one, but the military uses them for things like mobile command centers and field hospitals. You've got industries setting them up as temporary warehouses or workshops. You'll even see them used as giant exhibition halls for events. And maybe most importantly, they can be deployed as shelters and distribution hubs in emergency relief situations where speed is everything. Okay, so we know it's fast, it's strong, and it's versatile. But let's get down to the practical bottom line. If you're actually thinking about using one of these, what are the things you really need to know? I'm talking about lifespan, portability, and of course, cost. First up, lifespan. And this number, it might actually surprise you. With the right maintenance, a high-quality inflatable hangar can last anywhere from 8 to 15 years, some even longer. So this isn't some disposable, one-time use thing. It's a legitimate, long-term, durable asset. Now this is where the real magic happens. When you're done with it, the entire structure deflates and just folds down into a surprisingly small package. You can transport a building that once held an entire airplane on the back of a truck or in a shipping container. You can even fly it to its next destination. Just think about that. And then, of course, there's the cost.
Now, obviously, prices are going to vary a lot depending on the size and all the features you want. But generally speaking, the upfront investment for an inflatable hangar is way, way lower than for a traditional fixed building of the same size. You get all that space without that massive capital expense.
And getting that 15-year lifespan, it doesn't take some complicated upkeep schedule. It really just comes down to common sense. Regularly check it for any wear or damage, repair any little issues quickly, keep it clean with just mild soap and water, and make sure you store it clean and dry when you're not using it. For a structure this huge, it's incredibly low maintenance.
So, when you pull it all together, what you're really looking at is this amazing convergence of benefits. They are super fast to deploy, they're unbelievably portable, they can be adapted for countless different uses, and they are way more cost-effective than their permanent cousins.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to end on. We've proven we can build safe, durable, absolutely massive structures out of fabric and air, so the real question becomes, what's next? What other parts of our traditionally built world, from warehouses to sports arenas to community centers, what else is ready to be completely reimagined?